A clerk in a small city hall is holding a bank statement she has never seen before. One page, one account number. The woman whose name is on it is 4 states away at a horse show, holding a trophy. Dixon, Illinois, October 2011. This file is mine to keep. Remember that page. It comes back at the end, and by then you will know what every line on it cost. Because for 22 years the town it belonged to was told the same thing in the same calm voice. There is no money. Dixon sits on the Rock River in northern Illinois. 15,000 people, a main street, a bridge, a fairground. The kind of place where the woman who signs the checks has known your family since school. The kind of place where nobody asks to see the whole ledger, because asking would be rude. Her name was Rita Crundwell. She started at City Hall at 16 as a student helper, and she never left. By the 90s, she was comptroller, the one who moved the money, wrote the reports, and told the council what the town could afford. 4 mayors trusted her. Every one of them called her the hardest worker in the building.
Here's the part that decides everything, and it is dull on purpose.
In December 1990, she opened an account at the bank, city name on it, city-sounding title, capital development, sewer reserve, the kind of words that make an eye slide past. One signature could move money in and out of it, hers. The method never changed, which is why it lasted. She wrote an invoice that looked like it came from the state. She moved city money to cover it. The money landed in her account with the city's name on the front, and left again, quietly, as her own. It was not clever. It was patient. A town's accounts get looked at once a year by people who are looking for mistakes, not for a thief who prepares the paperwork herself. And every year the paperwork was perfect because the same hand wrote both halves of it. The first year she took about $180,000. That is a house on a good street, paid in cash, in a town where the median wage would take you 8 years to earn it. Nobody noticed. So the next year she took more. Give the devil her due. She chose the one hobby where money is impossible to hide, and nobody asks where it came from. Horses. Quarter horses, the compact, muscled American breed that turns on a coin. In that world, you are not rich, you are winning. And she won. Year after year, her barn was the best in the country by the only measure that counts there: titles. Championships stacked into the dozens. 8 years running, she led the whole breed. Judges knew her. Breeders quoted her. She was, in that small famous world, the top of the sport. 400 horses, barns with chandeliers and rubber floors, a breeding program run like a laboratory, a motorhome the length of a school bus for the shows. All of it, every year, out of a town of 15,000 people who were being told to wait on their roads. This is where a small town starts to feel the drain and cannot name it. The street repairs get postponed 1 more year. The police cruisers run past 200,000 miles. A snowplow goes out with a cracked blade because a new blade is a line in a budget, and the budget says no. The council asked her every year whether the town could afford things. She would look at the sheet she had prepared and say, "It isn't there." And they believed the sheet because it was neat and because she was the one who always stayed late.
You would have missed it too.
That is the cold part. A stranger with a briefcase gets questions. A woman who has done the same job since she was 16, who remembers your mother's name, who never takes a proper holiday, she gets thanked. Except she did take holidays. Long ones, timed to the show circuit. 12 weeks some years, while the city paid her salary. And that habit, the only careless thing in 22 years of careful, is what finally opened the file. Autumn 2011. Rita is away at the shows. A colleague is covering her desk. A city clerk who has worked down the hall for years, doing the ordinary thing a careful person does when they sit in someone else's chair. She asks the bank for statements on every city account. All of them. The envelope comes back thicker than it should be. Inside, among the accounts she knows, is one she does not. City name, sensible title, and a balance that moves in amounts no sewer reserve has ever needed.
She does not confront anyone.
She does not phone a friend. She carries the page to the mayor and says, "I don't know what this account is." And the mayor does the one thing that ends this story. He believes a piece of paper over a person he has known for 30 years. The FBI works it quietly through the winter. Nobody at City Hall is told. Rita keeps coming in, keeps writing the reports, keeps saying the town cannot afford the road. Agents sit with 20 years of transfers and watch the same shape repeat, month after month, like a heartbeat on a monitor. April 2012. They arrest her at work in the middle of a Tuesday in the building where she started at 16. She does not fight it. Within days, she is telling them what she took because the transfers already had. $53.7 million. Not from a bank, not from a corporation with insurance and lawyers. From 15,000 people who were paying for roads they were told could wait. It is still the largest theft from an American town on record. The horses went first, 400 of them sold by the federal marshals in a field outside town. Buyers arriving from 12 states for the most famous barn in the breed. The sale raised about $8 million. Against 53, it was a receipt, not a repair. In court, her lawyer said it plainly. She was addicted to winning, not to money. The ledger does not take feelings. It takes dates and amounts. And it had 22 years of both. 19 years and 7 months. Federal time. No parole worth the name. She was 60 when the door closed, and the arithmetic in that sentence was not subtle. The judge gave her back in years roughly what she had taken from the town in decades. Then the town went after the people who were paid to look. The auditors, the bank that held an account with the city's name and one private signature. Dixon recovered about $40 million that way, more than the horses, less than the loss, and every dollar of it years late. Here is what I want you to notice because it is the whole file in one line. Nothing about this scheme was hidden. The account was in the city's own name at the city's own bank on the city's own statements for 22 years. It was not concealed. It was merely never requested. That is the difference between a secret and a blind spot. A secret needs work, a new lie every year, a story that has to hold. A blind spot needs nothing at all. It only needs everyone to keep being polite. In 2021, she left prison early into home confinement, and the town heard about it the way towns do, from a news alert, secondhand, without being asked. The roads by then were fixed. The people who waited 20 years for them were, some of them, no longer waiting for anything. So, the page from the beginning. One statement, one account number, requested by a clerk who was only covering someone's desk properly. 22 years of theft did not end because someone was clever. It ended because, for the first time, somebody asked to see all of it. The archive does not close, and it does not hurry. Somewhere tonight, a perfectly neat report is being handed to people who will not read past the total. Next file. A man who signed his own audit for 9 years, and the week the signature was checked. Until then, ask for the whole statement.